Hi sweet friends, this is Jarle. Thanks for joining me. In this video I will be showing you how I created this galaxy background using regular distress inks. These are the colors I used for the galaxy. So I have mustard seed, picked raspberry, wilted violet and mermaid lagoon. And of course I also used a lot of black soot. I know that I wanted to put a lot of color onto my background, so I started by re-inking my distress ink cubes. Now I didn't have the re-inkers for all 5 colors, but I had 3, so that was good enough for me, because the mermaid lagoon and the black soot seemed to be quite juicy enough. You already know that I always use my inks onto a piece of Bristol Smooth cardstock. I already die cut it with a stitched rectangle to get that nice stitching border all around. And then I just went in with all 4 of those bright colors. I just put a lot of color onto the panel without worrying too much about getting a seamless blend. You just want your background all nicely covered. I did avoid putting the purple next to the yellow because that would kind of create a brownish muddy color. So as you can see, this is just looking like a mess and it is supposed to be that way. It doesn't look good until you start to overlap the colors with the black soot. I do use blending brushes here, but you can do this with regular ink blending tools as well. In fact, I think you will put on more color with those round blending tools, which is actually better for galaxy backgrounds. As you can see, for the black soot, I use a blending brush as well, and I think these give a little bit more control. Because here we want areas with lots of black, so with lots of layers of black, and we want areas where the colors really shine through that black, so you don't need much of the black soot on those areas. I kind of think about where I want to preserve the bright colors, so I don't add much black on those particular spots. And this is when the actual magic begins. Once you add white splatters, it really looks like a galaxy background. So I put a bit of water in my Copic white jar and I put some on my acrylic stamping block. Then I take a paintbrush and I just splatter the whole background. I did a lot of splatter and I really like it. I also used a slightly larger brush than I normally use, so this is actually a size 6 Nuvo brush and it gives just the right size of stars, I think. For my sentiments I used the giant Make-A-Wish die from Lawn Fawn. I die cut it once out of Bristol Smooth cardstock and once out of that yellow sunflower cardstock. Then I glued both die cuts on top of each other and a little bit at an offset, so the yellow kind of creates that little shadow. Then I took out my stamp set, which is the Superstar stamp set, also from Lawn Fawn. I stamped that little mouse in Lawn Fawn jet black ink, and I did the exact same thing with that telescope. I stamped them both onto Transotype Perfect coloring paper, since I was going to be Copic coloring these images. I didn't include the coloring in the video, but I will link the colors in the description box below. I used the coordinating dies to cut them out and I put a little white dot on the blushy cheek of the mouse, just for some added detail. Now, that mouse does need a ground to sit on, so I took the puffy cloud borders and I die cut these out of the same Bristol Smooth cardstock. And you will see that the bottom also has that stitching detail. That's because I die cut it first with that same Lawn Fawn stitched rectangle as I did for the galaxy rectangle piece. I ink blended the border of the cloud with Mermaid Lagoon Distress ink. I just wanted a tiny bit of ink, so I start blending on my glass mat and then I bring my blending brush onto that border. And this makes sure you don't have too much ink on there. I adhered that cloud border with some glue on the galaxy background, and then I popped up my teeny tiny images on there with some small foam squares. I did want to add a bit of color to the stars on that large sentiment. So I die cut the Make-A-Wish sentiment again out of that same sunflower cardstock, and with my scissors I cut the stars off and then adhered them onto that sentiment. Then I adhered that whole sentiment on my background panel, again using liquid glue. This panel also needs a card base, so I have a piece of white cardstock which is 11 by 4¼ inches, and I scored it at 5½ inches and I folded it in half. This creates a top folded card base. And then I adhered that whole galaxy background panel on that white card base. To finish it off, I put on some glossy accents on those stars. I did warm up the bottle with my hands and I tried it first on a scrap piece of paper. I really encourage you to do that so you don't have any fails on your cards. And this finishes off the card for today. I am super happy with this galaxy. It's the perfect background for that big white sentiment. I hope you like it as well. Thank you for watching and have a great day. Bye!